reason now that the man is already having fame, he just won Man of the Year awards because some politicians who were nominated alongside with him, and he had to defeat them. So why
that's their style. What I want to ask is, please, I beg, is there any northern billionaire that we know of that has ever come under the spotlight under investigation? Because even the ones that
one second, Chika, let me comment. Chika, let me come in here. 1 second, guys. Chika, let me come in here. You see, I think, again, it's another symptom of the problem of Nigeria. They do not like to see self-made, successful people. As far as they're concerned, you must have made your money through fraud or through corruption, or maybe someone gave you money to keep, or all this kind of nonsense. You can see very clearly the guy, if you go and do the research, on this guy, it's almost like you can see how he came from rags to riches, in a sense. And he worked very hard to get to that point. Obviously, with a great network of people around him, that help build each other. So, I mean, he's a product of the Igbo apprenticeship system, which is something you should actually be celebrating. But now you want to tear him down. But the problem with trying to tear him down is they then expose themselves to the claim of tribalism. Because had he been a guy from the northern region of Nigeria, would he have been arrested? I mean, that's the real question that you should ask. Because the EFCC has the other day they went and invaded, what's her name? Justice, Odili's house. And now they're all saying, the EFCC say, we didn't know anything about it. So I think there's something going. Remember, she's from what's it called? She's from Rivers, Abi. She's from Rivers. She's from Delta. Okay. She's from is she not former governor of Rivers State? So, and then you've got this guy from the southeast of Nigeria. And remember, Buhari was talking about people from the southeast being a dot in the whatever that stupid statement he made. So I think there's a concerted effort by certain people who are uncomfortable with people like him and her. And I think that's probably what is happening right now. I doubt, honestly, I could even bet that I doubt they'll find anything on him. Honestly, I doubt they'll find anything. But I think there's something ethnic about this. Because you can see the people the EFCC is arresting is, like you see the way they go to clubs and people's houses in the south of Nigeria. They don't do the same in other parts of the country. You don't apply the law in equal measure. You've got bandits, people making money from banditry. You're not even tracing their bank accounts and arresting those people. But somehow you found Obi Cubana to arrest. I mean, come on. This stinks to high heaven. I mean, this is nonsense. I mean,
so guys, let's quickly, hold on.
Sorry,
quickly, the language they used, again, in the media was very inappropriate. He was not arrested. He was invited. So everyone, let's just again understand that the media equally sensationalizes. But then again, he is not on the run. He did not flee or refuse to answer to an invitation. So I think for anyone that's listening or would contribute, anyone could be subject to an invitation. Yes, there could be underlying reasons. It could be somewhat, what's the word Iman used there? It could be targeted. But then again, I think, to the government, who I don't even give a lot of due, let's just assume that they are doing their due diligence. And through the course of this, there's no extortion, witch hunting, as we may have painted. And, I think, again, I will tell you this. Whenever there's bad news in Nigeria, they go after these types of social events to change the narrative and create a distraction. If you're seeing all the videos from the Southeast today with soldiers killing innocent people in villages, for me, it's just another way of turning our eyes away from issues that truly matter. But yes, we can discuss these things, but then let's equally know that there are other pressing matters we cannot just leave, to chance. So let's take, I think...
The next person was Prof.
Prof, yes.
Sorry, no, I said I was going to go after Tina now.
Yeah, we said yes.
Who's that?
Can I ask a question, please? Can you guys
wanted to ask a question? So we promise will be a question.
Okay, Zubi, sorry.
So my question is, we have FRC. What's the name of this tax body in Nigeria? I'm sorry.
FRS.
FRS, and we have EFCC. What does EFCC have to do with enforcing tax?
So the money laundering thing there is where EFCC can come in, because they are for their Financial Crime Commission. Even the Nigerian system, even EFCC, they do the work of DSS, they do the work of police, in fact, they do the work of SARS. So
you have to know parastatals when it's
they are very, very funny. Yeah.
So that's why let me mention this. So there could be triggers, right? So Obi does, he has hotel businesses, he has nightclubs. You can think of the volume of transactions that come through these businesses. Let me give you an example. If you take Hustle in Abuja, on a good night, on a very good night, if Hustle does 40 million, it's normal. So if you have 3, 4, 5, 40 million nights, customers are paying you 4 million, 5 million for ticket items. EFCC can kick up the bucket and say, oh, we see money moving that, looks suspicious. So the first thing they target is money laundering. And then FIRS can come out and say, oh, well, we don't see paperwork to suggest that you're paying tax remittances, VAT, or other, filings to support the volume transaction. So it's sometimes normal that it will kick off these triggers for audits. But as I said, it's just an investigation. There's no known crime that has been committed. Even if he has any tax defaults, it's a question of these are your penalties. This is what you owe the government. You negotiate a settlement and you walk away, you go home. Understand, the Nigerian government is dead broke. Excuse my French, fucking broke. So again, for them, from painting buildings in Lekki 1 to sealing up properties, asking for taxation in every form possible, the government is looking for money. So understand that. So yes, there could be the witch hunting factor, but also understand that they are trying to collect revenue in any way possible. So throwing EFCC, throwing FIRS, even bringing LASMA are things they will do just to collect.
I'm very happy, Aki, that you are saying this, because there was somebody earlier, and I was trying to tell them that even if they can just wake up and say you didn't pay tariff on the cork of the bottles that you imported in your club, they can use for something. If you have a business in Nigeria, see, you don't have to be making 1 billion. You don't have to, 1 billion is too far. Just the way you can rent a building in Lekki like this, that they will not come and visit you and tell you all rubbish. That's not the truth.
So, Aki, let me just that one last point before I forget. One point before I forget. So, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Aki. Did he not just travel with, I think, Ned to Liberia, right?
Yeah, correct.
And they visited the vice president, because you have to think of what are the things that maybe is the government looking at this and thinking these guys are getting too big for their shoes, because I think there's a greater dimension in this. There's a complexity to this which I think we're probably missing. We should look at what he's been involved in the last few weeks.
And now election is not starting.
So yeah, are you?
Yeah, so look, I mean, it's okay to be cynic, right? There's cynicism that could, be at play. It's equally okay to be suspicious. Look, I would say this on a microphone. If you turn Obi Cubana upside down, you might find 20 naira in tax default, or 40 naira, or 2,000 naira. And if the government is going to use that as an embarrassing opportunity or a way of perhaps grabbing the headlines in the news cycle, it's for them to pick and choose, but then I think the people can see through all the bullshit. Excuse my French again. So I would only say this. I think he's got a very smart team around him. They do paperwork. They don't play around with it. I know he will come out, on top, but then it's just awful that, you have a lot of news headlines that the government is helping to perpetuate or promote that says, oh, he was invited or arrested for tax, it's crazy, because now if I'm a foreign investor, as you all know, he just went into a partnership with a number of, with a Bitcoin, well, let me call it.
Yeah, Bitcoin, that was what I was trying to say the other.
Cryptocurrency trader. And, you know their position on crypto. Is it that, he could shine more light, look at the launch of eNaira, look at how that failed. I mean, I'm just saying there could be a combination of things, but ultimately, it's just a country in which we operate with a lot of impunity. You could see the attempted reinstatement of Abba Kyari, where they said, oh, he's been reinstated, and oh, they saw the public backlash, and then they backpedaled. You saw the crazy attempted arrest of a Supreme Court justice, where police officers showed up at her residence, and then the Attorney General is saying, on a request, a judge is saying, oh, they tricked me into signing up an arrest warrant. Police officers are saying, oh, we did not go there. So who are those? Unknown gunmen, unknown men? It's just crazy. So it's endless, but I don't want to grab the mic here. So Prof, go ahead. Mic is yours.
Prof, you apologize, so.
No, I'll be almost one fight, but EFCC and then get fights. You guys have spoken, a lot of great things in the last 10 minutes, because at some point the whole was being saturated by a lot of propagandas and all that. But the few things I wanted to correct was a couple of speakers at some point had said something at the line of you see the Richie Bowman, the likes of Innocent and so on and so forth, right? Why they not being invited? And the person specifically mentioned Innocent, right? I picked up that name and probably one other name. So I'm just gonna do a quick fact check for the person. In 2017, Innocent was actually arrested by the EFCC.
God bless you.
He spent
thank you for facts.
He spent the night at the Enugu cell, then they moved him to Lagos. About a couple of months later, right? They actually later filed some stupid suit against him. Had 4 counts. One included stealing, forgery, conspiracy to do whatever bullshit. The case got struck out by a Justice Olusola at the Federal High Court in Ikeja. Then eventually, Innocent countersued them for damages, running up to 200 billion. I think the case might still be ongoing. It's
still ongoing.
Still ongoing, but he sued them for 200 billion. And I'm hoping that eventually he will win, and then we'll see whether they'll borrow from China to pay that. But the point I'm making with all this, is that that whole idea, right, that these things don't have precedence is not factual, because there are a lot of precedents out there. So when you say like, oh, is it the only, if you mention probably 5 of those Igbo men you had in mind, I could go back in time and 4 of them at least probably have been arrested at some point or invited by EFCC, and eventually they win in courts, and you realize that they didn't have any case actually. That's just a bunch of bullshit, right? And I remember then that Innocent got arrested, he was institutionalized, he was in the news. They found that at some point the Senate had like a section on that, right, when they had to push back on that, because the guy was just being bullied, and the case that EFCC got involved in had nothing to even do with EFCC at any point. And I think he was they picked up on some issue he had with GTB Bank at that time, and then they tried to use that to eventually bully the guy and other stuff. The point is that you can't rule out the fact that there might be some tribal undertone to it. I'm not saying that necessarily has to be, but I heard some people were like, oh, don't make this about this. The truth is that in Nigeria, a lot of times it's always about that, because we always see that precedence, right? We always see that similar handwriting on the wall. It's always like when you see that one Igbo guy doing well, and then boom, there's some trumped-up charges or some public embarrassment or some government new laws and every other thing trying to kick him out of business. It happened to Ibeto, it happened to Innocent, Obi Cubana could actually be a different case altogether. But the point is that there is always still a tiny chance that could be the case. And it could be a ton of other things that people mentioned, right? But when you come around and say, oh, rule out this, it can't be this, it's just this and that, and then it starts being funny. And then the last part too was what some of you already pointed out. It's actually very ironical that, we had a whole scandal involving the likes of Yabakari, that we actually had, the evidence was actually super alarming. It was all up in our front. We're hearing stupid excuses like Taylor and being paid huge sums for making the clothes and selling to hush puppy and some bullshit, right? Yeah, but no single day did we even hear that, oh, Abekari was invited by EFCC for questioning and stuff like that. Just questioning. I'm not even talking of having charges and all that stuff, And you can go on and name so many other people, on and on and on and on and on, and these things haven't happened. But all of a sudden, we have this. At the end of the day, my summary of all these things that I'll be waiting for the next couple of days to hear, updates on that. I'm placing a wager that there's a possibility that probably a day or two from now I might hear that, oh, they'll come out and issue some press statement. We just invited him for questioning, nothing serious, blah, 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 bullshit. Or you might hear some, court case being, sued and all that kind of stuff, and eventually it might still go the way of innocent or any other way. But I'll just ask people not to start jumping into conclusions like we love to do as Nigerians. Once you see sensational headlines like arrested for tax evasion and money laundering, and then because you've been having this bias against this person because you hated the fact that they're throwing money, you're like, yes, I said it. Nobody that has money, that made money from people will throw it like that. Because that's what I've been seeing online. Right?
That's what they are saying now.
Yeah. So if you're among those people, just make sure that it's not either your poverty or your jealousy speaking through you, right? If the EFCC does have a good case against him, I hope that they follow the right rule of law, and if he's guilty of anything, they'll find that, right? And we'll all be following up for that. But until that happens, don't use that as an avenue to, go on some smear, of somebody because you already had some biases and opinion about them, or their tribe or wherever they're from. Thank you for the time, Chika.
All right, thanks, Prof. Can I go ahead?
Oh, come on, I can't now. I'm supposed to go.
Hold on, mister. Just so that you pull the screen down, you see where you are. Just connect to Michael at ABC and then you're next, okay? You're very close to the mic. Just stay with us.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So looking at this conversation, I've been listening to everyone so far, and I just want to make two comments. Anyone that feels this does not have anything to do with tribalism is making a serious mistake. In the history of Nigeria, there is hardly any successful business Igbo man that has not been witch hunted. That is a fact you can take to the bank. There's hardly any successful business Igbo man that has not been witch hunted. And then again, with respect to Obi Cubana, just as some of the previous people that have spoken said, I cannot attest to the fact whether there is anything there or not, whether they're going to find something or not. But we have to tell ourselves the truth that this is just a simple case of we've seen this man and it seems like he's becoming something too big for us to handle, or he's becoming influential, and let's just shake and see what will happen. And the Nigerian government is, in fact, I don't know if there's any G-boy that is bigger than the Nigerian government, because at the end of the day, it ends up with the money. It ends up with what they are able to get out, what they're able to drag out of you. So involving the EFCC in this matter and saying money laundering when you have not even, there is no investigation that has been carried out, you've not gotten evidence. It says a lot because it smears his image, just as the last person that talked, or the second to the last. He has business connections outside Nigeria, and then they see this online that this person has been accused of money laundering without any real evidence to hold him to it. So I will still say this is a typical case of witch hunting, period. Thank you. I'm done speaking. The next person.
All right, thanks for that. So let's take Michael next. Michael, go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, guys. It's very interesting listening to people that have spoken, and most of the things I wanted to even share, I've heard other people say. And one thing I've realized is if you are in the diaspora and you're not in Nigeria, most of the information you get on the blogs will actually not give you the proper information of what is going on in Nigeria. I've had the experience of being in diaspora and being in Nigeria to know that what is going on in this country, there is no way anyone can boldly say witch hunting is not taking place. There's no way you can defend what is going on in the country in any way you want to look at it. If you're talking about employment, if you're talking about the economy, even as hard as it is in this country, there are people that are spending Nigeria's money like, nothing is even happening. So I don't see how anybody can defend a country on any platform, on any level, the situation that is going on in this country. Obi Cubana has become one of the most popular individual in this country just because he buried his mother in a grand style. He became so popular, he has won awards, and this is Nigeria. We know what that means. Even before this happened, a lot of us were expecting this to happen. Not because we wish Obi Cubana bad, but because we know this is the system. It is the system. You cannot shy away from it and say, oh, Obi Cubana has been doing fraud. No. He is now a popular person that some people are even making comments that, oh, if he comes out to run for governor because our president is even the slot is for the East. So if they stand behind Obi Cubana, he's going to be accepted by the populace. So he's a person of interest, whether he has the desire to run for president or he doesn't have the desire, because he's popular and popular among the youths. He will be a person of interest in the scheme of things. So I just think we should be objective. I don't know if he's guilty of anything, but I don't see how this invitation, because it's not an arrest, like they say, this invitation is just to shake him up. Like, guy, if you have any plans, you better calm down. We'll let you go, but you know how it is. I mean, that is what goes on. If you don't know, then make your research. Don't just come and start defending what we already know is going on. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that. So let's take Mr. President. Thanks for being patient.
All right, so I mean, as you said, about 3 things. Number one, I mean, we thank God we have all agreed that this is not far from witch hunting. Apparently, if you go on Instagram and other social media platforms rather, you will find, I'm going to be very direct here, no disrespect to any tribe or people, but I'm just going to say it the way it is. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry for my English, you can go kiss the toilet. There's a whole lot of northern young chaps who I see on my timeline who are flaunting me like the kind of money that Obi Cubana has never influenced before. They don't even have that money.
You will live long, my brother.
Amen. You see, you go on social media, you see 19-year-olds, 15-year-olds holding gold-plated AK-47 with wad of dollars, private jets, and their parents are actually notable politicians. Are you kidding me? What are we doing? What are we deceiving? Do you understand? So we have a bunch of spoiled northerners, spoiled brats who are, showing off money, showing off all sorts, including their ladies, and they are putting out some very dangerous message out there that you don't even hear DSS supposed to arrest them. But you will not hear that. You will not hear that. On the street of Abuja, every night, rich kids are there doing bikes of hundreds of millions of dollars, riding bike. One of your president's son almost died. So they are still driving fast cars in the night in Abuja. Nobody has arrested anybody. This is the same thing they did to e-money. This is the same thing. That's how government carried their innocence case on their head. At the end of the day, they realized that it was GT Bank that was even cheating the guy. The case is still in court now. They were trying to do media trial, but they now realize that the thing did not pay them. Now they are trying to make the thing die a natural death. Some days back, battalion of armed men went to a woman's house at night, in the dead of the night, to do what? Not just a woman.
Supreme Court Justice.
Justice. They went to this house, and what did they go there to do? Do you understand? And I don't understand why we are coming and then Nigerians will always like to tell like say nothing so. You understand? You're always pretending like nothing is happening. Like we. Can I see Bob? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are okay, sorry, call payment, that's why I thought maybe I was off. Now, apparently, we are all pretending like we are not seeing what is happening. These things are obvious. It is so obvious. When are we going to start pointing fingers and saying the truth to power and to people doing this rubbish? You removed Omoibie and you brought a what's it called? A Sharia court justice to come and run the country on duty. So this thing is pointed that is one-sided. Do you guys see that videos of soldiers shooting people in the southeast? In
Enugu, yeah, today.
In Enugu, and they are using SMGs. And I'm like, you are not using these guns on bandits and Boko Haram. You are going to people's villages and shooting. I have the video. You are shooting them point blank. These things are scary, guys. I don't understand. It's not about IPOB or Oduduwa Republic now. It is about us being human. Are we even human in this country? We be human beings, so. But now you have gone after a guy who, the guy that was selling rice, he was selling canteen in Gwangwalada or where in Abuja. He was selling canteen, pursued himself to the top. Now you don't talk about that. You won't talk about that. Now, okay, let's take it back a bit. You talk about tax. The tax that we have been paying, people like me have been paying tax from when we started working. When I don't even know anything the tax number or whatever. Some say they remove tax from my salary they pay. Which thing I don't use that tax to do? What have you guys been using the tax to do? And there's somebody saying they're looking for money. Now here you won't see now for ordinary Nigerians who won't see money collect. You've been selling crude, you've been mining gold in Zamfara and in other parts of Nasarawa. So where is the money for those golds and precious stones you have been mining in Plateau and the rest of the other places? We cannot come here and be deceiving ourselves now. This is total witch hunting. They just want. I have a feeling that this guy either is supporting a particular candidate in Anambra State governorship elections. There must be somebody is supporting. There's nothing you can tell me. There must be a political undertone. And I hope they don't overstep their bounds. Just like I was going to talk about the Odili, Justice Odili matter. They came up and said, oh, it was bad address. It was not the right address. They are actually going to number 9. They ended up seeing themselves on number 7 of the same Imo streets in Kineko. Can you imagine flimsy talk? Beg, no rest, I beg. I yield, man, Mr. President.
Thanks for that. Sorry, Akim, I want to step out. So, thank you for keeping the room.
Okay. Okay. Good day. I think it's my turn to speak.
Yes,
right?
Go ahead, Victor.
It's good to hear your voice again. And I don't think we've spoken in a while after our earlier discussion. This is a very laughable matter as far as I'm concerned. And I'm going to come from a funny angle. Well, next month is Christmas. And boys must what? Chop. Boys must chop. To be honest, it's someone that has not been to EFCC that will be panicking. For all that, I've been visiting EFCC over the years. You know what happens this time of the year. Customer. So it's
a roof house for Christmas.
Tell them. Let them know.
They have to do one or two things. So, but in a serious matter, right? The way this process plays out, okay, I'm not trying to stand up for Obi Cubana, neither am I trying to stand up for EFCC. But what happens in the process is this, because I've been in this kind of process a lot of times. Your bank reports transactions over a certain amount as suspicious transactions, right? Before NFIU used to go to a particular, for those that worked in banks, there's what they call your reporting standard. You need to report these transactions on a daily basis.
It's under compliance, compliance department.
Exactly. So if you pass that threshold, your bank is mandated to report your account. So if someone runs 10, 15 accounts, and almost every weekend, all the 15 accounts pass that threshold, your bank reports it as what? Suspicious transactions. Sometimes you have account officers who will say, no, this man is doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G business or whatever. Now, this thing goes to NFIU now. Sometimes it goes to EFCC. And then it stays there for donkey years until somebody starts looking at you. Come, this person, who is he? Oh, is this the same Obi? No, is this account? Oh, dust the file. They get back to your bank and say, what? Can you give us the past 2 years statement of all these accounts? Same for FIRS, right? Now, FIRS can say, based on the inflow and outflow, not minding what was an expense or what was an income or what should be reported as expense or income. They believe that you should pay a certain amount of tax based on that particular or those particular transactions. Now you write to FIRS and say, no, this is what my tax consultant said I should pay. You have the back and forth with FIRS. Sometimes they let you go, sometimes they take it up and say, you know what, let's report to the higher authority to chase you and get our money. That might be this case, right? And that might not also be the case. If you say that Obi is supporting a candidate in Anambra State, I laugh. Because Obi's money is, as far as I'm concerned, is in flat 1. The people running for those elections, except 1 or 2, their money is at flat 8. So he can't be bankrolling them. They should actually be bankrolling him. The other part is when you talk about ethnicity. Yes, I agree with that one. Because obviously, like someone said earlier on, like Mr. President, you have these boys who are northerners that they flaunt it everywhere on social media. If you ever lived in Abuja, all the fast cars, all the Lamborghinis, all the Ferraris are driven by these boys. What did they do? No, my father works in NNPC. My father works with PPPRA back in the days. My father works with MPA. And so how can he afford such things? They don't like they should pick up. But nothing happens to them. Remember, Malami's son has one of the biggest plazas somewhere in the north.
Thank you.
What is his son up to? I know some of the things Malami does, but this is not a place. It's a public space. I won't go into details. Okay, so but as far as I'm concerned, this is just an invitation. It's not anything. The way you can't say something is a tax fraud when I have paid some taxes and you are saying you didn't pay up to a certain amount. It's between you and I until you indict me, right? So it's more like, come, let's discuss. And in the discussion, it ends up, oh boy, your boy is new here. Do this for us when we go see you again. You know? So, but like I said, some of these things are media sensationalization. Of course, you have journalists who are the beat at EFCC that will report, oh, this person is here, and the ABCD will go out. I won't be surprised that one moment you will see Obi tweeting something him in his private jet going to Lagos. He could also be, it could also be to your advantage that after the whole investigation, it is not clear that he is very clean.
Okay, the same thing with email. Same thing happened with email.
No, of course it has to happen. You see, like I said, this is a public space. I'm not vouching for any of them. The truth is this, let's be frank. If you run a nightclub, right, there's a tendency that someone will pass through
Rackets will happen.
In the world. Jay-Z 4040's club in New York had some issues. That's every club. See, anywhere people come to spend thousands of dollars or millions of naira in a particular night, there are tendencies that something might, pass through the water. It's not enough to you to prove that the proprietor or the sponsor or the owner of that establishment is aware of such things. And most times why you see them don't jail club owners is because you cannot prove that they are aware. They are selling drinks. If a drink in my club, like Louis the 13, they sell it close to 2.5 million, 3 million at club. Outside is less than that, way less than that. I can tell the officer I sold 15 bottles of Louis the 13, so I can have 100 and something million in my account on a particular day. It's not for you to come and decide and say, no, you did not spend, you did not sell up to this amount, you sold only 2. Yes, that's for the money. You cannot prove that, right? So, remember when it happened to, was it this guy's club in Lagos? What's the name of this guy's club?
Shalapita.
Yes. Shalapit, that guy, yes. And they still in the House of Rep. They will invite you and ask you questions. So, for those that don't know Obi, I've known this for a very long time. Like I can say earlier on, this guy started from the bottom. From the bottom. Right bottom. Bottom. He was cooking. He was, this monoput. He was cooking. If you grew up in Abuja, you know when the business started in area 11. If you know area 11, there's a place called it.
The first floor. Yes.
When he started even making fish, that's when he started having Cubana fish. It was Ibiza fish first. This boy,
yes.
This boy, let me give you guys this boy will, because of the Igbo traders that were looking for a place to drink palm wine, this boy will work hand in hand with AutoStar. If you know AutoStar, they run Enugu, Abuja every day. This boy will run hand in hand with AutoStar. When they get to Nsukka, they will pick about 2 to 350-liter jerrycans of palm wine and bring to Abuja. Now he sells them in these small bottles.
So Victor, take another 1 minute.
Yes. So this he didn't start business today. He was doing Kobe. He didn't start this business today.
On the roadside.
So when people see him because of his mother's burial, I laugh. This was his first major thing that he did. And besides, he didn't spend more money. It was all his friends that did those things. Right? So you guys should not be scared. Nothing happened to him. Like I said, boys must Christmas. Next week, tomorrow next, you see him flying again.
Thank you very much. And the boys will not smile for Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so Nutella, go ahead. Nutella, mic is yours.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, dear.
This is actually such an interesting topic because I've been waiting for it to happen because it was bound to happen. It was kind of obvious for me because the money he spent at his mother's burial was crazy. The cash flow, it's different if transactions are happening, you're transferring from banks, but everything was cash. There was just too much cash, and Nigeria is actually in a cashless policy. Like, we have implemented that policy. Nobody really follows it, but I mean, it has been implemented, so it really was right for EFCC to start an investigation. I also want to say that I don't believe that it's a witch hunt, because I mean, the display of wealth is different. If you talk about Abuja boys, that, like, you know, Hausa people don't flaunt their wealth like Yoruba and Igbo people do. It's different. Yoruba people, the flaunting is different, especially with Igbo Yoruba people. But Hausa people, it's more of cars, assets, houses, lands, like buildings. Like, it's more not cash. Yoruba and Igbo people tend to deal with, like, cash flow, and that's why you see them getting probed by EFCC, because it's too much. And if I feel like we should just stick to the case of Obi Cubana, because if we start discussing the politics of EFCC, like, and how they arrest people or invite people over, we'll just sleep here, because they're actually looking for December money, but that's like a whole different case. And Obi Cubana is using that to his advantage, to me, because I feel like this could literally be a PR stunt. I mean, if he's invited to EFCC's office and he's cleared of all charges at the end, it's a good way to, like, prove to investors that, oh, hey, look, my businesses have always been clean. Also, it's good for his political career if he ever does want to go into politics, because, I mean, he can once again say he's clean. Like, I've been checked by EFCC. I've been proven that I don't evade taxes. So he has, like, this, he's once again in public view. You know, everyone is rooting for him. You know, like, the public is rooting for him. So basically, this just puts him in, like, more in people's favor for me. So I feel like this is a really good PR stunt that should have happened a long time ago. If it's not a PR stunt, I feel like at the end of the day, he's still going to leave, because it's politics. I mean, he runs nightclubs, like, was it Michael or Victor said before me, he did, like, run politics. So, like, having a night, I hope everyone can hear me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can hear you. I was even waiting for you so that I can ask you something.
Yeah, so, like, running a nightclub, the business he does, I'm sorry, you can't tell me he's not money laundering. The only difference is the people he's money laundering for, he can't ever, like, catch the rap for it, because it's, oh, if you go down, I go down thing. So I don't think he's ever going to get locked up for money laundering. It's, his sponsors are way above that. So yeah, that's just for me. I just feel like this is, like, long time coming for me. Like, that's just what I feel. This EFCC.
Are you aware that, like, I mean, after that Obas incident with the whole spraying money and everybody knowing his story as a hustler who made billions, literally, I think that at that point in time, there's no need for a PR stunt. I mean, if there was anything we wanted to achieve, I think he has more than achieved that. He's like an inspiration to many people. And being a product of that Igbo system has even made him an icon in a sense, especially in the Igbo community as a whole. So, and I don't know if you know how Nigerian government and police people work. You don't use them for PR stunt. Those people will frustrate you. They would make you cough out a huge amount of money. Like now, as they've called him in for questioning, obviously we are hoping for the best. We're hoping that it's just one of those things. But these people are people that Nigerian government don't give a damn. They don't care about Instagram and social media and what we on here have to say. If they really want to get this guy because they're hungry for money, they will try to use everything to get him. I mean, you don't use them for PR stunt because they are there to use you for money. When they want to bill Obi now, they'll be billing him 600M, 700, 1 point something. They won't be billing him 5 million. That's why you have to say that, is this really a stunt? Would he want to get arrested to prove a point? And Nigeria is a country that is even better you are even arrested. That helps you with your government position. Because even if he goes there now and comes out and he's cleared, he can't come out tomorrow and say EFCC cleared me. It's a lie, because there will always be an ongoing case for the EFCC to talk about. Even she not tell herself when they arrested him, they were still saying many things that is this, is that. Like, that's how Nigerian politics is. In fact, if you're a criminal, you have more chances of succeeding than when you're not a criminal. What about the one we caught with his hands? Literally, I don't know. Have you heard the story of that Kano State governor? There was a whole video of him collecting bribe. An underground investigation was carried out, and he was caught in the act. So I don't know. Criminals succeed in Nigeria. It's not like every other place.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm like. Just like, it's funny to me that people believe that Obi Cubana is not a criminal. Like, I'm sorry, but for him to get to the level he is now.
So can you repeat that comment? You said you don't believe people do not agree he is not a criminal.
Yes, I'm sorry, but you can't. Okay, there's a saying that goes, tell me how much money you have, and I'll tell you how dirty your hands are. I'm sorry.
No. Don't abuse people on this stage. Don't do that. Do not abuse people on this stage.
Wait, everybody wait, please.
Can you please wait?
Don't speak out of turn. Don't speak out of turn. Otherwise, we'll move to the audience. We keep it civil. I know everybody wants to chip in. She made a very controversial remark. That's why I asked her.
Abusive remark.
Yeah, and I wanted to.
Hold on. It's her opinion. Hold on, Nutella. Hold on. It's your opinion. It's not an echo chamber, but when you do so with facts, because then again, it will be unfair to someone you've not transacted with, you've not witnessed him commit a crime, you don't have factual evidence, there's no conviction in his name. So please, I would equally respect if it were you, I would not allow someone to just castigate you without any kind of proof or evidence. But let me let you wrap up.
Everyone just chill and let me finish, because I literally just said a sentence and you didn't allow me continue. Okay, so me saying that is me knowing that for you, whether it is corporate, whether you are in the corporate business, whether you have your own business, whether you are in the government, the system is corrupt all over the world. It is not just Nigeria. Whether it is Facebook, whether it is, any company, Jeff Bezos, Tesla, everybody. Okay, let's just understand how money works. If I have a lot of it, it means other people don't. That's just how it works. Obi Cubana literally has tons, you can't have that kind of money and you are associating yourself with politicians and people known in politics not to have their hands clean.
Okay, so which is fine. So hold on. So hold on. Let me hold on. And Cam, hold on. And Cam, please mute. So Nutella, do you go to church? First question. I just want to probe a few questions for you.
Yeah.
Do you go to church?
Yes,
so what church do you go to? If you don't mind me asking.
I go to Christ Embassy.
So is your overseer, Pastor Chris Oyakhilome, a corrupt man? Yes or no?
Honestly, I would not say.
Yes, is the answer.
No, hold on. No, be fair.
No, honestly, I wouldn't say, because he's a man of God. He claims.
Wow.
Oh my God. And one mic, please. One mic. Thank you.
Please. Let's enjoy this conversation. So, Mutala, the same aspersion you cast on the Obi Cubana by virtue of his wealth and association proximity to people in power, I have equally just ascribed the same to your general overseer who's wealthy, flies a private jet, lives in a high choice neighborhood.
You can't vouch for anyone.
Hold on. He has every other politician's phone number in his phone book. Probably goes to their birthday party, goes for them during elections. You've now told me that you're gonna put him in a different category because, as you said, he has a lot of money. This man of God. But now he has a lot of money.
No, the only difference.
No, hold on. Let me land. So what you've done is simply say, because Obi Cubana is not a pastor. Because I would then put two of them on the same pedestal. I say, okay, yes, one is wealthy, has access. One is wealthy, has access. But because one is a man of God and you have bias, you would not give him the same benefit of the doubt. Is that what you're telling me?
No, what I'm telling you is I don't want to say anything about men of God simply.
All right, so
because
let's shut it down. Let's shut it down. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.
If
Everybody, mute your mic.
Wrong,
Everybody, mute your mic.
Please to say.
Okay, thanks for your contribution. Thanks for your contribution. All right, so let me pass the mic to Mide. Mide, go ahead. Mic is yours. Nutella, thanks. Mide, go ahead. Nutella, thanks. We've heard enough from you. Mide, go ahead. Mic is yours.
I think I'm leaving.
Guys, one mic, please. One mic, please.
Mide, you're next. Go ahead.
It's very cool to hear a conversation like this, to be a part of discussions like this. And to be honest with you, I would say it is a billionaire disease where you are being investigated for tax fraud. It is not a crime yet until you're proven guilty of it. And before you can be proven guilty of tax fraud, you must be sure that this person knows he's evading tax. If you are not sure, or this person likely does not know, then the person is going to go free. Obi Cubana has been invited, not, I wouldn't say arrested. He has allegations in front of him, and he's been invited for questioning. If you invite him for questioning and he can prove to you, I'll tell you, Obi Cubana does not run his tax. He probably has tax companies, auditors, and all these people going into these tax things, and they do these things for him. But if they're going to evade tax, he has to know about it. And if he knows about it and he says, let's keep it moving because we're in Nigeria, then he can answer those questions. We all know billionaires go through this. Messi, Ronaldo, it's normal. You can account for all your money if you're a billionaire. But you're not going to get charges if you're not aware of it. Is it witch hunting? I'm not going to say. If you say it's witch hunting, are you a witch? If you're not a witch, then stop thinking. If you don't have anything in your cupboard, you don't have to be scared of anything. If you have something to be scared of, if you know about it, then just let the law take its full course. EFCC they've picked up a lot of people over time. They've picked up Fani Kayode. When they picked up Fani Kayode, it wasn't ethnic. It wasn't an ethnic issue. When they pick up other people, it's not ethnic. But when they pick up people we think we have connection with, then it becomes an ethnic issue.
Thank you very much, Mede.
I don't think it's ethnic issue. It's only a problem now because we like Obi Cubana. The fact that we like Obi Cubana does not mean Obi Cubana cannot evade tax. There are many billionaires in the United States and all over the world that evade tax. It's normal. It's nobody do you know the population of people who pay tax in Nigeria? Less than 40 million pay tax.
Less than 40 million pay tax.
Do you have in Nigeria?
I'm a Nigerian. I've lived in Nigeria most of my life.
Do you pay tax before leaving?
Yes, sir.
No, guys, I think it's really wrong for people to be interjecting. It's actually quite rude and disrespectful.
I'm sorry.
Because at the end of the day, no one was doing that to you. And I think that, we should learn to have a bit of decorum.
So, let me tell you a little about myself. I know that people would not like me a lot, but the truth would always be the truth. And because I like Obi Cubana, does not mean that if Obi Cubana is evading tax, I should say it's witch hunt. If you're not a witch, you're going to go scot-free. I have no reason to be bothered. If you have a reason to be bothered, then it's your call. It's the law taking its course. Don't say because the law is taking its course, then it's a witch hunt. I wouldn't take that. It's a billionaire issue, and then that's not a problem. Then another problem I have is this. Nigeria got its independence in 1960. I hear people say, they. You call the government they. Who is they? You don't have any South African in our midst, neither do we have any British people. We are Nigerians. It is you, me, and everybody. So, and we've been recycling this government for over 60 years or plus or minus.
Hello,
it is you and I, a collective effort that is where Nigeria, that has pushed where Nigeria is today, where it is. If you and I turn to be a good citizen, Nigeria will be a better place. Everybody that gets to power want to have their own quota. If you get to power and you don't have your own quota, then you begin to say, oh, no, let's not do that. Obi Cubana is a good guy. He's a great guy. Cool. I like him. I don't have any problem with him. But what's wrong with him is everybody goes through that. So let him face it. He's going to get out of it, just like everyone who's innocent is getting out of it. And let's be mindful of the way we say Nigerian government and they. Nigerian government, we have 3 equal arms of government. If you are not cool with what Nigerian government is doing, go to your senator and go shout at your senator, give them sleepless nights, and let your senator keep the whole house standing. Because if you watch CNN in Nigeria or you watch BBC, you will hear these senators say, my people put me here because this is what they want. They don't say, no. They say what they've been put there, because if they don't say what the people want, when they go back home, the people will come bang on the door at midnight. They don't go straight to the federal government and say, oh, it's the federal government they want to face. They go to the senators. If you cannot go to your senator, then don't go to the federal government. We have 3 equal arms of government. I'll drop the mic. I think I've already made the point.
Yeah.
Thanks for your contribution. Welcome back. So let's take Tochi. Tochi, go ahead. Tochi is there, going once. If not, let's take Hafiz. Hafiz, go ahead.
I think we skipped Emmanuel though.
So let me pull down, and I believe Hafiz is next, and then Emmanuel's after Hafiz. So Hafiz is next, then Emmanuel. Yes. Hafiz, are you there?
Yeah. I'm here. Well, good day, guys. Actually, my point is, Midday Oladusu has said it all. He actually said it all. This is not an ethnic issue, and he has been invited, not arrested yet, and we'll be very glad to hear the positive outcomes, whether he is pledged guilty or not. Yeah, he was invited. So, what I really want you guys to know, this is not an ethnic issue, and EFCC government and EFCC personnel has arrested a lot of Northerners, not only Southern people, because even last month, Hafsat Ganduje, wife of Governor Ganduje, has been arrested for bribery and fraud and land fraud and land fraud. She has been invited to EFCC office. So this is just an invite, not an arrest. And if he is pledged guilty, I'll be very glad to see him behind bars, irrespective of whether he's a northerner or southerner or any part of the or from any part of the country. So I don't really have issue with him, with Obi Cubana. And I heard, is it Mr. President or someone talking about northern people in Abuja buying exotic cars and stuff like that. There's not a single northerner that done what Obi Cubana does. There's not a single northerner. If there's any northerner that you know that does what Obi Cubana does in the past 1 year or 2 years or many years back, you can point him out.
Excuse me, what do you mean what he does? I just wanted to understand.
Guys.
Yeah.
Please. So let's do this. So Hafiz, speak, in context. So when you say does, Obi Cubana is a nightclub owner. He's an entertainment mogul. He owns hotels. He's a developer now. So when you say does, do you mean from his mother's funeral, or what you say?
From his mother's funeral.
So you're saying there's no northerner that would do what he did. Listen, hold on. So you're saying there's no northerner that would do what he did because what he did was wrong, or what he did is unusual? Like, explain.
Yeah, it's actually unusual.
For a northerner,
it's so unusual for any citizen, any good citizen to do that.
Sorry. On my
guys, please. Let me help you. Let me try to elaborate. So Hafiz, when you say a good citizen, let's say he pays his taxes, he's a family man.
Not really a good citizen. Any citizen.
That's what he said. So nobody in their right mind would do what he did at his mother's funeral. Is that what you're saying?
You said I didn't get you.
No, guys, let's have a conversation.
It's not an echo chamber. So guys, everyone does not have to agree with you. So let's be respectful. So Hafiz, and I want to just get your train of thought. You're saying the display of wealth, his friends throwing cash, all of the alcohol, the dancing, the celebration, a citizen of Nigeria would not be seen doing that. Is that what I'm hearing?
What I really want you to understand, Mr. Akin, I'm not actually insulting him. I'm just trying to clarify what he does in flaunting a lot of money in his because that will really drag attention. That will really drag attention to Nigerian government.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. So if he was a bank MD and he does that, is that a problem? Yes or no? Yes or no? If he's a bank MD displaying that kind of money, is that a problem?
It's a problem. That's wrong.
Okay, so hold on. I will tell you about billionaires that own banks.
Sorry, I want to ask you a question.
Let me just throw this last one in there, please. Let me throw this last one in there. So when Adenuga buried his mom, there was a display of wealth, but people didn't have mobile phones, no Instagram, no Facebook, no Snapchat to show all of that. Obi Cubana is a nightclub owner. If you go to nightclub, you understand that it's all about living a very different lifestyle. It's flaunting wealth. It's show business. It's showbiz, and it's what brings in more business. So it's his craft. He's an entertainer.
Okay,
He's
who was leading EFCC back then?
What's that?
Who was leading EFCC back then?
At the time, it was what's his name? The young northern guy.
No, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not doing his work.
Okay, so listen. Let's do this. So for the sake of this conversation, it's not fair. Let me play referee. It's not fair to take your lifestyle or your beliefs and ascribe to somebody else, right? If you stay in your homes, in your part of Nigeria, you marry 10 wives. I will not be in Lagos criticizing you that marrying 10 wives is a problem. If you have 50 children and it's what your culture or it's what your personal choices are, I will not criticize you. So I think it's not fair to then take what people do with their money, private citizens. They've not broken any law and say what they're doing is not right. But thanks, Hafiz. Let's pass the mic around.
Wait, Akin, I wanted to ask something quickly, please. So, Hafiz, yeah, I understand where you're coming from at least, but I wanted to ask something, and I want to say something, which is, what we're talking about here, why we said it's an ethnic thing, is because we don't have any Northerners that are being put to the spotlight and their money is being doubted. But almost every Southerner, and I'm talking both the Igbos and the Yorubas and the other states in between, right? That anytime someone comes out and they're making money, successful business, innocent, anything like that, as long as you started making up to 1 billion, you're always called in for questioning, paraded in the media and all of that, right? But now, what I want to ask you, because of also follow up from why I say it's an ethnic issue, is when you say it's not normal for Obi Cubana to flaunt his money in that way, do you recognize the fact that the Southern culture and the Northern culture is very different? And I mean, the way over here we're all about celebration, all about show. You don't need to make 1 billion to be doing that kind of thing. People here they do spray 100 naira, they spray 50 naira, and they don't have a lot. It's just our culture. Like, do you recognize that the way Obi Cubana expressed himself in terms of his showing money and all of that is a cultural thing? And it still boils down to the whole ethnic issue.
Well, as I said earlier, I'm not taking this as an ethnic issue. I'm not taking this as an ethnic issue. And also, he was invited, not really arrested. He's going to be questioned, as Mide said. If he's plead guilty or what he does, so definitely he will be behind bars.
All right, thanks a lot. So let's not press further. So
please, can I just say something before leaving?
I'll let you come in. So Rotimi is here on stage. Rotimi, welcome. Rotimi is, or I don't know, you can let us know, keep me honest, part of the Cubana group. So Rotimi works for the Cubana enterprise. I know he's worked with the Pablo Cubana VI location, very close to be a great guy. So again, he's not an outsider, he's an insider. He can talk about receipts, VAT payments on alcohol sales, payments, remittances. I know he's probably not the accountant, but being part of the institution, I'm sure, as a well-run company, which I know they are just, due diligence that they follow. So, Rotimi, I will pass the mic to you, so that way, we're hearing from all sides. If you've heard from Obi, if you spoke to anyone close to Obi, and what the current situation is, and then we'll keep the conversation going. So, Rotimi, let me pass the mic to you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for bringing me on stage. Currently not part of Cubana Group. Let me just shoot that out. Not been since January 1, but I was there for 6 years, being the creative director of the brand. And in my time being there, I know Obi personally. He's a great guy, and an enthusiast. He's always willing to put in work, care for everyone around him as well. This news hit me as a shock because, for one, he's not a person who likes to owe salary. First off, everybody gets paid 28. That's been the standard for probably over a decade plus that the business have existed, decade or more, right? And paying taxes and doing every work diligently. Obi, as someone who has tried to keep his line of work very prudent. He doesn't like to owe. There's one thing about him. I know for a fact, being right next to him all through the expansion plan from 2016 to Lagos and the rest of it to Enugu, and a whole lot, which I contributed a whole lot of work into, that, it was all pure. Even at the time we created the new brand in Ikeja and we're hit with the pandemic, we're looking at an investment standing up, and, we couldn't recover capital in time. We're able to brainstorm and create new ideas along the line to raise capital, to raise investment. So yeah, like Akin rightly said, this is a shock to me. 1, 2. I know he's going to beat it. It's just the system doing its work. But then I know for a fact that it takes a petition before appropriate authorities can act. So it must have been someone who has pre-informed or ill-informed who has done a great deed to this. But the level at which, the reaction is trailing the internet and the space and the reports yeah, it comes with that territory too as well. You know, being a socialite, being popular, being, you know, I don't think it's political. I think it's just people playing fast ones. But knowing Obi who he is, man of the people, I'm sure he's gonna beat this. Avoidable, yes, but like Hafiz put it, he was invited, so I don't think there's anything we can, you know, greatly say that is of damage, right, to the Cubana brand. Obi is a great guy. Someone you could walk up to. He's someone everybody has access to. That's the level of, as in, you could be from the cleaner to the gate man to the driver to the MD to the security to everybody has access. Like, you could literally have Obi's number if you met him today, and you could literally chat him and he will chat you. He multitasks like that, right? But, you know, we wait till tomorrow morning and see what the real facts are. I haven't spoken to him, sadly enough, but I'll get in touch to get an update on, you know, what the present situation is. But I think it's something that will brush off at the end of the day, you know.
I think so stay with us on stage. So let's pass the mic to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, thanks for being patient. Go ahead.
Hi. I really don't have much to say. Well, prior to this previous speaker, I just want to say the last two previous speakers, the only thing I have to say to you guys is, honestly, I think you guys are just envious. That's all I gotta say, because literally the other lady said this person is a man of God, and then we should just let that one pass. And while Obi Cubana is not a man of God, then we should judge her. We should judge him because of his, you know, business deed and other stuff. And the other person says it's not a tribal stuff, but then the way he's flaunting his money is not good. Then it now makes me think now is a tribal stuff, because you can't say it's not a tribal thing, and then the next thing you now say, oh, the way he's flaunting his money is not good. So my summary for this is that, sorry to say, but the two previous speakers is either envy that is causing you guys to say that, speak that way, or I don't know what else. Thank you. I yield the mic.
Mr. Aki, can I just say something for 10 seconds?
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Number one, I'm into cybersecurity and I've taken security all my life. I'm also into governance, risk, and compliance. What I'm going to tell you is this. Anywhere in the world you have compliance, anywhere in the world you have fraud units, and Obi Cubana does what he did, the tendency that we invite him is 100%. So let no one be surprised he's been invited. It is not a surprise. So let's understand that it's just an invitation, not an arrest. He would always get out of his innocence. So there's no envy here, no jealousy here, but that's how governance works. If you truly want to have a government.
Okay, please.
Hello, people. Yes, go on. Sorry. So let's take Chi. Go ahead, Chi. Are you there? Chi Okafor.
Oh yes, I am. Well, I was just going to. I won't talk for too long, but what I was going to say is, while I agree with Mide on, letting due diligence take its course and all of that sort, I strongly disagree with Hafiz and Nutella. I don't think, first and foremost, I don't think you can tell people how to spend their money. They should be allowed to spend the money they've worked hard for the way they want to spend it. Now, if they've been doing legit stuff, if they've been paying their taxes, they have legitimate businesses and all of that, fine. If the authorities call them and, say they want to investigate and all of that, that's fine, as long as they have receipts to show that they've been complying with the law. But I think that it's very unfair for you to come out and say, oh, as nobody can tell you that he's not a criminal. You don't have your facts. He worked hard for his money. He's worked hard for his money from the very beginning to where he is now. And then we keep talking about this burial. Let's not forget that how many people really knew Obi Cubana before his mom's burial? Let's not forget that it was his friends that were flaunting, all this money. Why has the EFCC not gone after the friends? Why have they singled out Obi Cubana out of everybody that was present? Because really and truly, how many people saw videos of Obi Cubana flaunting money or flaunting wealth? he has always been a quiet person. It's just really until his mom's burial that he came into the limelight and people started hearing about him. But it was more his friends. How much money was even spent at that burial? If you guys are talking about wealth, there are other people who flaunt money way more than was displayed at that burial. So I just think that yes, the law should take its due course, but at the same time, let's be careful the way we're coming here to call, to say certain things, because you can't pick and choose. You can't say because someone is a man of God, he's not a criminal. Or you can't say because somebody has so much money and then the rest of the world doesn't have money, then you say, the person is a criminal. He worked hard for his money. Other people can work hard for their money as well. It's not his fault that he has money and some people do not have money. So I'll just say, let's, just be careful the way we're saying the things that we're saying, and just let, the law take its due diligence. Thank you.
All right, thanks, G. Good vibes. Welcome. Yes, thanks for reminding me that somebody decided not to criticize her pastor because she's scared God will strike her with thunder on her bed, but can accuse an innocent man that's walked out for his cash. Good vibes. Go ahead, Mike is yours.
Can I say something?
So let's take good vibes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to continue from what you just said, Akin, in the fact that Nutella intentionally wanted to just gaslight. I don't first of all think she's a Christ Embassy member or a Christian even. But whether or not that is true, I don't think it's fair to compare any Nigerian pastor to, well, it's their opinion, obviously, but to say that that Nigerian pastor is criminal free and Obi Cubana, whether or not he's cleaning his money or he's flaunting his money or he's whatever he wants to do with his money, he's doing it, then you would want to equate those two people. I think that's just total BS, in my opinion. And then it's obvious, not just this room, there's a lot of other rooms that would want to use this topic to spew their religious undertones, their hate. And it's why I actually came up, because there's a lot of people from the northern part of the country that deserve this same treatment, but that Obi Cubana is getting from the fraudulent EFCC, but will never ever ever get the same treatment. And yeah, fair enough that there are some people from that part of the country, a few of them who do get this treatment, but it's nothing compared to the frequency that we do have here for the southern part of Nigeria. I think it's absolutely ridiculous to say that someone deciding to spend his money on an event, celebration of life for his mother, which I felt wasn't really a big deal, is premise to start questioning the person's wealth. It's legitimate. They don't like to see. He's literally said it. I think I don't care what his name is, but that guy literally said it. Why should he be out there? Like, bro, this is showbiz. This is entertainment. Like, what are you talking about? And it's just disgusting when he's still, trying to play it's not religious, it's not ethnic, it's not whatever he's trying to do. When in broad daylight, this is not just the show. This is what they're going about doing. Because there's more people that should be in EFCC. Well, EFCC is a sham, but there's more people that should be in custody that will not even be in custody. Okay, so it's just my point. There is huge ethnic undertone to this identity politics, just like there is to any other thing and every other thing. And to come out and blatantly state that there isn't, the man must be a fraud because he's showcasing the kind of money that shouldn't be showcased. It's just not, it's not reason enough to fly by me. So the Nutella girl, I don't really want, because a lot of people have said stuff, I don't really want to go into Nigerian pastors and the problem that they represent in the Nigerian state. But I will just leave it there and say that there is huge ethnic undertone. Thank you.
All right, thanks, good vibe. Go ahead. So hold on, one mic. So let me just let Ugo come in, and then we'll take Nnamdi. We'll go ahead.
Hi, Akin. So I'm just about to go to bed, so I wanted to say something before I go to bed. So this is just a quick story. I'm actually here in the UK, and there was an issue when the boys, the black boys, went to play football, and we knew when they took the penalty that if they lost or if they eventually lost the penalty, that there was going to be an issue. So we as the black community were quite prepared because we knew what was going to happen. Now I'm using that because I've got the same illustration. When I saw the video of the barrel, I didn't know who the guy was, by the way, but when I saw the video of the barrel, I said to my husband, oh my goodness, they're going to come after this guy. He's showing this, and he's from an ethnic background where it's an issue for you to show that, because for the way that the system is and the way the country is, a certain race or a certain set of people do not think it's okay for you to show off your wealth. Now we have an example of the guy who's just come online and said, oh, why should he be showing off his wealth? Now there is a problem here. There's a cultural misunderstanding, because he doesn't understand it's also part of their culture to celebrate life or celebrate whatever they're celebrating in that manner. I'm Igbo as well, so I'm like, he doesn't understand that. So for him it's a problem. There is a cultural difference. So for me to know that this guy's had this celebration, they are going to be after him, and to see the headlines today, we were all expecting it. Why were we expecting it? Because we know that there is an undertone. So it's just when we're ready to start dealing with the problems, I guess that's when we begin to become a country together. When we know there is an issue, let's start dealing with the issue. There's a big elephant in the room, let's discuss it. So I yield my mic, and I really, hope everyone have a good night's sleep, and I hope to be here again soon. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thanks, Ugo. All right, Nnamdi, go ahead. Mike is yours. And Iman or perhaps Chika, if you want to come in, please feel free to do so. Nnamdi, go ahead.
So, you have actually said most of the things. So, I just wanted to point out some northerner guy that came online earlier said he has nothing to do with ethnicity, or there's no ethnic undertone to it. But still went ahead to say that we should point out any Hausa man that flaunts his wealth the way Cubana does. And then you start to wonder what if it made any sense at all. And then from the day, one thing I can say is Nigeria is a different case altogether. It's not about English. It's not about thinking that you know what's right or what should go or what shouldn't go. As I look at your DP, you can actually go in for just putting up an iPhone and looking good. They can take you anytime, green you, ask you some questions. Sometimes you get to pay before you come out. The institutions are corrupt in Nigeria, very, very corrupt. So these are the things we face down here, but I'm very sure you're not in Nigeria. So you can act like you understand what is going on, but us, we that are down here, we felt it, we knew what is going on, and I think you get to understand something. So I will.
All right, thanks for that short one. Cam, go ahead. First, Cam.
Thank you guys for having me. I want to say that Obi Cubana recently went on some foreign trips. I think from his last post, I just knew immediately that they are going to come for this guy. What was the last post all about? I think there were about 6 of them, 6 investors that they went to. Was it Liberia or something?
Yes, Liberia.
Yeah, and I'm very sure it was for business reasons, probably to expand their business and all that. And immediately I saw that picture, I knew something is going to happen within a week. And here we are talking about it. The reason they invited Obi Cubana wasn't even because of the Mons burial. It was because of that picture. He was with the vice president of Liberia. The meeting was close to 2-3 hours. What were they talking about? That's what the federal government wants to know. Which money are you taking to Liberia to go and invest? Why did you people have to pack yourself with airpiece of all the airline in Nigeria? Airpiece is owned by an Igbo man again, for that matter. And he flew you people, brought you back. What is happening? That is what the federal government wants to know. So let's just forget about beating about the bush and saying there is no ethnicity or whatever. We are saying that Igbo people know how to celebrate and all. Have you been to a northern party? These guys know how to spray money too. Trust me, Abakari's junior brother had like multiple cars on his page. He showcases them, but nobody came for him. Even when his brother was what's it called? When FBI came for the senior brother, he deleted all the pictures on his page. Until today, nothing was said about it. If his hands were clean, why did he have to like delete the pictures on his page? Why did he have to like clear everything? And what is his name? Abakari is being considered to come back. Let's just be truthful to ourselves. Nigeria is just structured in a way that if you are not affiliated to the person in power, you have issues. Be it a northern, be it an eastern, and be it he could have escaped all this if he's in alliance with APC or something. Do you get? But I don't think this guy is interested in anything that has to do with APC. So he's going to have issues. First, because of that visit to Liberia, trust me, they will question him, they are going to release him, but eyes is going to be on him now for this remaining years that Buhari is in power. Thank you, guys. I read my mind.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's take Amaba. Thanks for being patient. Go ahead. Okay, Amaba Adelaja going once.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good morning to you all. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I see it as double standard, whereby we have selective administration of justice. A man is proclaimed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Be it invitation, be it arrest, none of it has a legal capacity to criminalize any accused person, no matter the crime. Obi Cubana in this instance, I have not seen anything. I'm not a judge in a court of law. And for his line of business is in the showbiz and he's an entertainer. And part of the things that drive the entertainment industry is show off. He needs to project his brand. They need to show affluence, they need to show class, they need to show wealth. Some of the things they sell in their club, they need to pop some of it too. So for me, it is a wrong person that EFCC is actually targeting. If the claim of money laundering for who? For what? And from where? Those are the things that I really want EFCC to bring forth. Is it laundering money for criminal purposes, for terrorist organization? Because the ones in the north that have been alleged by the DSS in the past, the Nasreddin and all the associated brothers and sisters who are trying to enthrone some kind of things in Nigeria, all the money, what has EFCC done about those people? That's why I said the misalignment when it comes to carrying out their duty, I see it as something that it is not good at all. I want to hear until I hear facts and evidence with respect to the laundering accusation, money laundering for what? Is it for terrorism act? Is it laundering to actually sabotage the sovereignty of Nigeria? From where? Where did the money come from? And for what purpose? So, without all of this information, I can just say that this is a misalignment of EFCC role. They need to align their work properly and do their job properly and not become an instrument for politicians to use in intimidating private citizens of this country. I yield my mic. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that. So, Michael, let me let you come in, and then we'll take Jumoke next. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you, Akin. I heard Afiz and the other ladies say something about the culture and how much Obi Cubana has. I was going to interject, but I didn't want to, break the protocol, because when you say knowing how much Obi Cubana has, how much does he actually have? Have you gone to check his net worth or seen his bank account to actually know his worth? Because you see friends come together and spray money makes you assume that Obi Cubana is one of the wealthiest person that is spending money. Now, and I think Afiz or Mide talked about cybersecurity and how, if you're talking about EFCC investigating, I don't think it is, in this day and age, it is proper to use physical display of wealth as a yardstick to judge if someone is a criminal or if someone has too much money. That is the wrongest assumption you can use to judge a person spending money. There are people that are wealthy in dollars, in billions in their account, and nobody's talking about them, and they are quiet. Have you investigated how that money got into those accounts? EFCC has the record. If you are into cybersecurity or digital forensics, you will understand how you can investigate and get the actual figures. You don't get the actual figures by going to a wedding and watching people spray money and say, oh, this person is a criminal because he's showing wealth or he's celebrating, with his family or friends. I mean, let's look at facts. The EFCC has the database. If anybody don't want to investigate, if Obi Cubana has any actual issues, if they are truly investigating, the records will come out. But let it not be a one-sided thing, because I can assure you, if you go into the books and into the record of the wealthiest people in Nigeria, look, I've lived in Abuja. Go to Guzape Hills. Go and take record of the people that own the mansions and all those big buildings. Go and take record of how money is being moved in that same country where everybody is looking at Obi Cubana because he buried his mother and sprayed money. Come on, man. We should be bigger than these assumptions. We should look at facts. We should not be tribalistic. We should not talk about religion.
I feel a little attacked, so I would like to give a little understanding, because sometimes if there's no understanding, we would probably be talking from different ends. Let me make you understand something, and how it works in any system that's into fraud units. If there is no invitation, if they look into your data or your profile and they see discrepancies, they have to invite you over to question you so you can clear these discrepancies. If you clear it, they would let you go. But if they do not question you, meaning you've not put anything down, you have to say something. You have to say if you know or you don't know before they charge you to court. So if you understand that they can't just pick you up randomly, they pick people up. Why did they pick Hush Puppy up? Do you know why the FBI had to pick him up? because he was basically fronting on social media.
That's a lie.
Did you know?
That's a lie.
That was not why he was picked up.
Oh, wait. I'll come to that. But I want to tell you something. If you look through the lines of Hush Puppy, you would always hear that he always flaunts his wealth on social media. True or false?
That is not why they picked him up.
No, but that is not why. I agree. But did you read that part of the investigation?
Okay, so make your point.
My point to you is this, because I feel attacked and it affects everything that I have. I've been studying this for a long time. Now, let me make you understand this. This is how it works in the security system. Before enforcement of law can charge you to court, they have to be sure that you would say you know or you don't know. If you say you know, okay, you plead guilty. If you say you don't know, we charge you to court. You come to prove your innocence.
Okay,
that's why
hold on, Mide. He's not been charged to court. He's only been invited. Listen now, he's only been invited to answer questions. Let me give you an example. If Obi got 300 million in his bank account via wire transfer last week, they invited him to say we have questions about this transaction because the originating account may equally have a case of money laundering. It does not make him guilty. He may have sold a property. He may have gone to some kind of JV. So to now say you're going to take his social media life, his ostentatious display of wealth, which helps to promote his business enterprise, which is entertainment, I think is a very, very unfair.
You missed my point. Let me make my point clear again. I said, if he had done all that on the internet, which is good, every country, whether United States, Nigeria, wherever you practice fraud units, whoever displays wealth puts himself in the radar of investigation.
Is a lie.
Listen to me. You're not into this field, so why are you saying it's a lie? Unless you are.
There are so many people that display wealth in Nigeria that have not been invited.
That is because it is Nigeria that's the system that is not working.
No. Even here in the US, even here in the US,
listen to me. Listen to me. Yes, let me make it clear again.
Hold on. Just make your point. And
I'm going to say it again. This is the point again. If they do not invite you for questioning, it is because they've done their investigation and they do not see any discrepancy. My friend was picked up just 2 weeks ago in Texas. I am supposed to be picked up myself. Why didn't they pick me up? He just got out. He's shocked. Why is he shocked? Because he has discrepancies. I don't have discrepancies. All my company taxes and everything are top notch. Now, if they have discrepancy, they would invite you and say, hey, we are not sure about what this thing is. Can you explain to us? That is not a crime. That is not how Trump is being investigated. Have you heard about Trump's tax? Did he show them? Inviting you for questioning is not a problem when it comes to tax fraud. My point to you again is this: when it comes to social life, when you put yourself on the spot, many people know you. I have names they send to me. Hey, do a search on this name. You do a forensic search. You go on all forensic tools. Let's see what this person has. If what this person has is okay, no discrepancy, then we would agree there's no point in inviting this person.
Okay, so Mide, hold on. So Mide, now let me make this point clear. If you live in Sokoto and you live in a thatched house with no air conditioning, and you have 4 billion naira in your bank account, and you move 500 million to someone that's got an EFCC case of 5 million naira, do you know that you now become a subject of investigation?
Exactly.
So good question. So hold on. So your social media life, your display of wealth that you earned legitimately, should not be a yardstick for why you are being interrogated or not.
No, it's not the yardstick. You keep listening. You're jumping the gun. You're jumping the gun.
Hold on. You're conflagrating here because I hear the point you're trying to make.
What's the point?
Hold on. The point you're trying to say is, no, hold on, guys. Let me help you because this is also an opportunity for others to learn, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm only saying this because I don't want someone to walk away, misunderstanding your position, but you're not doing a good job communicating. You are saying it's okay to have money that you can explain, but when you display that wealth, it attracts unnecessary attention. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. And
so you earned it legitimately.
Yes, everyone in the room understands that. So I don't think you have been attacked. I think what Michael was just trying to say was some people were unfairly accusing him that his social life may not necessarily pair up with his.
What I don't like is they. Who is they?
No, hold on.
Is it the EFCC?
But hold on. Let people speak and communicate themselves in the best way they can. So let's not police use of language. But let's move the
5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Stop interjecting. Don't interject him, please.
I won't interject you, but you mentioned my name, so let me just give you 5 seconds. Again, my point was for you to be invited for questioning in any financial units, they must have done their own digital forensics and be sure that they found some discrepancies. Once they find, do you know invitation for questioning? They're coming to question you to explain what they cannot explain. Once they cannot explain it, that is why they do that.
Okay, so that's fine. So thank you. So Michael, take 30 seconds, wrap up. Let me move to the next person on the queue, okay?
Thank you, Akim. Media, I was not actually attacking your statement. What I was saying, I was using the reference that you said you were into cybersecurity to buttress the statement that Afiz and the other ladies said about Obi Cubana being.
I spoke before them, so there's no way I could buttress their statement.
No, I didn't say you were buttressing their statement. I said I was buttressing using cybersecurity as a means of the EFCC to investigate fraudulent people in the country.
I don't get what you're saying.
Okay, so
I understand what he's saying.
I was not attacking Media's statement.
So stay me on stage. I think you addressed Afiz and the other lady's response. So let me refer to others in queue. So Jumoke, hi, welcome. Let's pass the mic to you. Are you there, Jumoke?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. It's been should I say an insightful conversation, and I'm really happy to be a part of the conversation. Really, I've learned some things that I don't know before on this platform right now. But I would like to appreciate Trust. I think Trust and then Michael. They really spoke my mind, like most of the things I wanted to say. And I think in this part of the world, we are hypocrites. In the sense that most times we judge people by our own standards, which is very, very unfair. You can't say because you're a northerner, because you don't celebrate you don't do burials, or because you're a Muslim, you don't do burials, and you see someone celebrating the death of his mother, and immediately you take offense. When I don't know much about Obi Cubana before now. I used to think the lousy one, sorry to use that word, chief priest, I used to think it was Cubana. Because Obi Cubana himself is a very composed, quiet kind of person. I think I even know Joey Zaza, and I don't know Obi Cubana. And I understand now. I know that they are good friends. That's to tell you how low-key the guy has always been. The burial of his mom was when I read about him, and I watched his interviews and all. Most of the display of wealth that happened there happened amongst the guys is guys that really wanted to show appreciation, because I understand that he actually elevated a lot of people. He touched lives. He turned people's lives around, like the guys that were with him, those who worked with him and probably for him. So a lot of people, a lot of them wanted to come and show him, because even right there on the social media, you could see someone taking over 300 cows, or donating over 300 cows to him. So those are the ones, those are the lousy ones. We don't even know the ones that there are a lot of people who donated like that we don't even get to hear about, or we don't even get to see, because they didn't come on social media to say I'm taking cows, or I've donated money, and like a lot of people, I think like a lot of us have agreed that he wasn't even the one that was showing off this wealth. I want to Mide, I'm not going to attack you or anything, but I think because you're not in Nigeria right now, you don't know how much we don't trust the Nigerian government because of what they have done in the past and what they are doing presently, especially to youths of this country. The youth don't trust them. So when you see the headlines and you see that they are inviting Obi Cubana for what, immediately you, as a youth, you don't even want to trust them. This is the same EFCC that barges into people's hotel rooms looking for whatnot. They barge into people's house without a concrete search warrant or whatever, and they get away with it. You don't see anybody being on trial for that. You don't even to even apologize is the problem. So it's a lack of trust. We don't even trust them. So them inviting this guy, Obi Cubana has been in business for years. They didn't invite him before now for questioning. EFCC did not run after him. FIRS did not say anything. He has been in business for over a decade. And because this guy recently, we all know, let's not sugarcoat it or let's not shy away from it. It was because of that burial that he did. And Nigerian government, the way they make the youth feel this way is, they get angry at the youth, like, how are you people making it? You can see a law enforcement agency person would tell a 22 or 23-year-old girl or guy holding the iPhone, they'll ask you, what do they do? How did you get it? They are easily triggered and angered. Like, when I was your age, like, I did not even have 50 naira in my pocket. So how are you people doing it? We all saw what they did to flutterwaves and all those, most of all these tech guys during NSAS. So the government, we don't trust the government as youth. So that's why immediately you hear that they invite Obi Cubana, who has been in business for years and has never been invited. You immediately want to believe there is more to this. It is either it is ethnicity, it is either it is them. Yeah, I know he has not been charged or anything. It is just an invitation. But people, why we are talking, the reason we are talking is because we know this government. We say they because they are that circle. If you don't belong there, even as youths, they are the ones that will come and tell the youth that you need to belong into politics. You need to. But at the end of the day, you will not. We all know they will not give any youth any chance. We are only trying, and may God help us. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thanks for that. Amancio, thanks for being patient. Welcome, bro. Mike is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Aki. Good to see you after a long time. With regards to this topic,